7 weeks after the tomato seedlings have been planted into our system. You can see how much they've grown. The thickness of the stems. They're really appreciating 5 feeds a day. Even down at the base. Look how thick that is. The first fruit have started to appear. In there. There's some more in here, another 3 in there. Bit hard to see, but they are. And another one over there. They're starting to appear all over the place. Super healthy looking plants. And look at all the bunches of flowers we've got. We're going to get a pretty good crop this year, I would think. Flowers and flowers, heaps of them, more tomatoes there. And also you can see how close they're getting up to the ceiling. They'll have to have the tops cut off, and before long branch them out a little bit. But they're all looking very, very good. You'll notice these 2 here, I've removed all the bottom branches. We normally trim them all off until we get up to the level of the tomatoes, because the leaves down here aren't doing very much. All the nutrient and sugars are being created up in the top up here. So we remove these off to give us extra airflow, especially when it's a very thick planting of seedlings like this. Everywhere you look, flowers. Looks like it's going to be a good year this year. There's no plants that are backward. They're all looking very good. Even these little guys down here have got flowers on them. And the cherry tomatoes over there. Alright, well that's it for today. This video is being shot a fortnight after the last ones, and we've still got huge amounts of excess growth of leaves and suckers on the plants. I'll remove some of those, and as the tomato fruits increase in size, they're going to need more air circulation around them so that they don't pick up any diseases. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm clearing a lot of leaves and branches away from the fruit, as you can see over here, looking very nice. And also in here, over here, here, all up the top, it's all over the place. We're going to have a huge crop of tomatoes this year. But something I have noticed I've never seen before, there's so many fruit in each bunch, and they're growing so quickly and getting so heavy that the stalk that the fruit is on is hanging down and starting to bend, cutting off nutrient, get into the tomatoes. So what I've had to do, and I'll be doing a fair bit of tomorrow, as you can see the bend on it, I'll be wiring clips in to hold the fruit up so that it doesn't restrict the flow of sugars into the fruit. So we're just doing a general clean up again at the moment, opening up all the leaves, removing a lot of leaves, opening up some fresh air around the fruit, stripping them out down the bottom here. These leaves don't play any real part in the nutrient that's coming into the tomato plants. It's the ones up at the top, up in the root, that are doing the work. So down here we need to have all the vegetative growth cut off so that the nutrient goes into the tomatoes. And I'll do a close up here and we'll look at some of the tomatoes, some of the bunches. There's a lovely big bunch there, coming along very nicely. Another one in behind it. And in behind that also, here you can see a bunch, another clump in behind there, hanging down there. And then as we go up higher, you can see there's tomatoes, this tomato fruit all the way up to the roof. See them there? Another nice bunch there coming along. So I'll move up a little bit further now. I'll move the camera up. This is the next area I'll clean up here now. I'll remove a lot of these leaves, the suckers, strip them off so that the fruit gets good air circulation round it. That's the sucker that's gone wild, so we'll get rid of that. We don't need that. And lots of vegetative growth around here that we'll remove. Snip those off. Lots of these little bits of regrowth coming along, we'll remove those. And like the guy there, I reckon. Another sucker there. Get rid of that, we don't want that. Get rid of those leaves. And now you can see the range of tomatoes we have on here. Look at the fruit there. Another bunch there. A large bunch in there. Another bunch up here looking very, very nice. And that one. I'll remove that. Another small bunch in there. So what I'm doing is really allowing air circulation all the way around the tomatoes. Now I'll clean some of this area up here so we can see what's happening with our fruit. There's a cheeky little beast for you, grubbing one of our tomatoes. How nice is that? Well, that was the end of him. Keep removing some of these leaves as we clean out as we're coming up. And another one there, we don't need that. Or that guy there. So you can see that we're starting to clean up. One over there I'll remove while I'm here. So you can see we're starting to get a nice display of tomatoes coming along now. Nice bunch here and over here. And now I'll clean this up a tiny little bit. Give it a bit more air circulation space. And our fruit now has a very good chance of getting good air circulation, not having any bugs or viruses around them, so they should do pretty well. You can see how many tomatoes we've got coming on here. They're turning red. There's heaps of them in here now. As we move down the buckets, you can see them. All in there, they're looking rather tasty too, actually, aren't they? Some over on the other side, further in there. Some more bunches here. Over to there, lots of green ones, but there's quite a few red ones appearing now. Starting to ripen. And you can see the green ones all the way up into the roof. Look at the bunches of them all the way along. More up there. As high as you can go, there's bunches. More green ones. They're going to have a very good crop this year. They're looking very good. Everywhere you see tomatoes, heaps and heaps and heaps. Red ones, big bunches of green ones. More over there, up into the roof. Some very nice tomatoes there. You can see them all across the other side. Lots of tomatoes. We're going to pick the right tomatoes today, so I'm doing a quick video so you can see what's left before we pick them all. And there's some beautiful bunches of tomatoes down here. A few of those are ready. Most of those are ready to roll. And all along the full length we've got tomatoes that are ready to pick. Down there we'll just take the large ones. We'll leave the other ones and we'll get them later. There's a nice bunch there. Looking pretty good. Round the corner, another bunch. As you can see, there's a huge bunch. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 tomatoes in that bunch. And right up into the roof. I'll pick the tomatoes in a moment, and then we'll see how many we got from this batch. I took the first crop of tomatoes off last Saturday. Today is Thursday. You can see that we're going to have a pretty good crop to take off on Saturday once again. We tend to take them off once a week. Plenty of tomatoes here, growing right up the stems, up towards the roof. There's another batch over there. Lots of green ones coming on. This clump here has got 16 tomatoes on it, the best we've ever done. We've had 8s before, but we've never had a 16. More tomatoes down here. They're certainly ready to pick. Some up here colouring up. More reds in there and deeper down inside there. And as you can see, my estimation of having a very good crop this year certainly appears to be coming into fruition. There's plenty of tomatoes in big bunches. 2, 4, 6, 8. That bunch there has got 11 tomatoes on it. Some more down there. As we move across here, you can see there's tomatoes all over the place. Round the corner, more there. Up here with lots of green ones. Waiting to colour up. They're very tasty tomatoes. Excellent for eating on sandwiches or in salads, and also very good for spaghetti bolognese mix that we make. This is a week after the last video I shot. You can see we've got heaps and heaps and heaps of tomatoes here, ready to pick. We had a few hot days in a row, 3 of them, and that really brought the colour into the tomatoes. And heaps of fruit still to colour up, but today we'll be picking these. Last Saturday we picked 93 tomatoes that weighed 7.5 kilos, and I think we're going to go pretty close to that today also. So Georgie will be down here in a minute. She's going to pick some.
It's another day for collecting tomatoes from our hydroponic system. A big basket full last time. Beautiful they are. Perfect condition, no marks on them at all. The beauty about being able to grow these things in a controlled environment. No bugs. Beautiful one there. Still even got a little flower. So usually if they just start to give a little bit, they're usually ready. Just pick a few more here.
Yeah, there's heaps. We're going to have a pretty good harvest again.
Yeah, I
this
think so.
week. And I think
be very nice. I think I'll take this whole one here. A couple more up the top here. All right, here we go. That's a beauty. Looks great, doesn't it?
Yep,
I like that
very
one.
tasty. Very nice on top of spaghetti bolognese. Will look all right.
Oh, just in the salads would be lovely
And
too.
that one.
Over here,
Yep.
take the small ones. We're going to be cooking
Yep.
these anyway, so
Yeah.
you also have
Big
some.
ones for salads and the small ones for spaghetti bolognese toppings.
Lots to pick here. So obviously the concentration of produce is a lot higher in this sort of a setup. So you spend a lot of time picking fruit. That one's ready. Just try not to cut the fruit. Yeah, that's it there. Lovely, lovely fruit.
They're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'll leave that one. That one's ready. A couple of little ones here. Look, they're just little, but doesn't matter. Every little bit counts. A little bit of yellow on that, but I think that'll be alright. I'll take it off here and here. That out. There you go. As you can see, there's virtually no marks on them at all. I haven't found one yet that has any marks on it. So,
That new bird netting we put up is working very well, keeping the beast out.
another little bunch here. So just clip them off. I'll take the green bits out later when we're ready to cook. Quite a few here. Another lovely big red one here. Just great. Put those in the bucket. I think this can go too. And this. Look at all these up here. So much fruit. Incredible. You know, I'll just get this one out.
There's 11 tomatoes in that bunch there.
Oh,
not
really? 11? Look
four,
at that.
Yeah, 4 of them are right, probably 5.
Wow. Incredible.
It's a pretty fair statement on how we grow our
Yeah.
tomatoes hydroponically, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll be very busy cooking.
You get that sort of
Doing a lot of
return.
So this time of year, when the produce is all coming off, you've got to spend a bit of time in the kitchen processing it all. Here we go. I think I might leave that one and go for a little bit longer, that one.
Lovely tomatoes, and they're lovely
Yeah.
and firm tomatoes.
I mean, we've got to pull down a lot more, but that's what we've done so far.